All right, good morning, everybody. Happy September 28th. We are almost done with September. It's a beautiful, cold morning. I love it. It's so nice and comfortable. But thank you for those of you who are here with me. I see some of you putting your names in the chat, which is perfect. But yeah, good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. Forgive my voice, right? I feel like my voice is all cracked and like struggling today. I did a lot of screaming and yelling at the football game. Obviously the Bucks lost, but it was very fun to go to a football game, and I love Cooper Kupp, and he had a great game, and that was a lot of fun to see. So it was very cool to go, but my voice, I definitely did a lot of yelling. I was heckled quite a bit as well by a bunch of Rams fans. So anyway, I hope all of you had a nice weekend and that you're doing well. October next week, crazy, hard to believe. But can you all hear me and see me? Okay, I'm rambling on about football, and I forgot to check if you could hear me and see me. So maybe somebody let me know real quick before I keep going. I'll wait just a moment to make sure. Yes. All right. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for letting me know. That's great. So what we'll do, our usual kind of format for this week, right? It's kind of a usual, typical week. We will look a little bit at last week, see if there are any questions, give you a little bit of feedback about week number 6. We'll talk about week number 7 and the things that are due this week. I'll give you the extra credit question, and we'll see if there are any just general questions from many of you, and then we'll call it a day. So let's head over together to Canvas. And again, we're in week number 7. It just keeps on rolling by, right? Week number 7. But let's go back just for a moment and look at week number 6. So last week, we were looking at disorders featuring somatic symptoms. Really interesting disorders. They're not super common, but I hope you enjoyed some of the little clips, the clips on faking versus these different disorders where people are kind of unconsciously or unintentionally manifesting different symptoms. But the discussion for last week, let me bring this up here. You were in charge of reading these different case studies and then creating your own. And I really enjoyed the case studies that some of you came up with. A few of you mentioned that you had family members that were kind of driving your case studies, which I thought was a little bit fun. But overall, really nicely done. I was impressed with how many of you got these right. As a side note, a couple of you asked this question. Factitious or fictitious, they're used interchangeably. Factitious or disorder is the name that we use for somebody who's purposefully faking purposely faking symptoms to get attention. Now, the popular name for that is Munchausen syndrome, but Munchausen syndrome isn't technically like a diagnosis. What you would diagnose somebody with is fictitious or factitious disorder, but it's popularly known as Munchausen syndrome, after the great Baron von Munchausen, who was famous for his tall tales and so on. So I accept it either. If you use Munchausen's or fictitious disorder, they're basically the same thing. One is just the popular name, and one is more of like the diagnostic name. So just as a side note, a few of you asked me that question last week. But overall, as I mentioned, really nicely done. I enjoyed your case studies. A lot of you did a great job looking at Brian, Blanca, Tom, and Leslie. So again, nicely done. The people who lost points typically didn't give me enough, and so I wrote that a couple of times for a few of you. Make sure you give me a little bit more explaining why you picked each of the disorders that you did. But most of you did a wonderful job doing that. I even saw most of you replying to a classmate, which makes me happy. I keep reminding you every week. But don't forget to continue doing that. Not only answering my questions, but replying to one of your peers. And remember, these were all true stories. So even though these might not be super common disorders, there are definitely a lot of people who do struggle with them. And for the most part, they're very unintentional. They're unconscious. People aren't driving it or doing it on purpose, which I think makes it even more wild, especially conversion disorder, where people are literally causing themselves to go blind or lose sensation in parts of their body, and they don't realize that they're doing it. I hope you enjoyed that King of the Hill clip that I played for you. Not a perfect example, but not too far off either. So again, that was our topic for last week, and then we move forward this week to week number 7. So let's get back there. Week number 7 this week, we are looking at mood disorders. And mood disorders are very, very common. A lot of people struggle with mood disorders. Anxiety disorders are the most common. Mood disorders would be number 2. And so what we'll look at a little bit in the lecture for this week, we'll look at depression and mania as the 2 different ends of the spectrum. People can have one or the other, and then looking at bipolar disorder and the different types of bipolar, and then the different treatments that are available and causes as well. So make sure that you read chapter 6 in the textbook, and then look over the slides, watch the lecture video. So I did, of course, make a lecture video for you via Zoom so that you could watch that with the transcripts as usual, with the captioning. So make sure you watch that, and the captions are here on the side, or you can click it here. But there are lots of little clips and things in here. You can look forward to a clip from one of the Twilight movies in here. You can I have been booed for it in the past, but it is on here, so you can look forward to or dread that. But definitely make sure that you are watching the lecture video and either taking notes, or you can, of course, just watch it. You rewind it or pause it and watch it as many times as you need to. The discussion for this week, discussion number 7, if we take a look at that together. Discussion number 7, you are looking obviously at the topics from chapter 6. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose any antidepressant that is available to be prescribed. So you could do a quick Google search of antidepressants, or maybe you've seen a commercial for one. They're always on TV, or you know somebody who's taking one, or you're taking one yourself. But any antidepressant that you would like, you're going to then describe the antidepressant that you selected. What type is it? There are 4 different categories. Which of the 4 does it fit into? How does it work? What are the dosages? What is the effectiveness? What are some of the common side effects? Right, and this is a really big one. What are the side effects that you could expect to have if you were taking this medication? And then optional, if you're able to find a video commercial for your drug, please include it in your post. And if you watch TV, there are commercials for drugs all the time. And so if you are able to find one on YouTube or anywhere online, please feel free to include it. And pay attention to the side effects. This has almost become a running joke in my house. Anytime there's a drug, they have to, by law, list the side effects for you. And sometimes they're absolutely awful. If you've never paid attention to it, really listen next time that one of those commercials is on. And you might be a little surprised to hear them. They're often pretty bad. Oftentimes my partner and I will look at each other and go, what is the drug for? I might rather deal with that, right? These are very mixed. Antidepressants can be game changers and life changers for people, but they can also be a little bit difficult to tolerate as well. So you'll describe all of those things, right? What are the different, what type is it, what category, dosage, effectiveness, common side effects, in a video. And then what I want you to do is you're going to listen to this song and watch the video that I have below. And it's an older song, Lithium by Evanescence. And I want you to watch it and listen. And when you're done, you're going to answer the following. What is her relationship with lithium, right? The whole song is about this drug, her singing about the drug lithium. How does she feel about it? What battles or struggles is she having with the drug? I'd like you to reference specific lyrics from the song wherever appropriate or helpful. I think it's a very interesting and common commentary on how people tend to feel about the drug lithium. And I also think that the video is very artistically and visually kind of depicting a lot of that information as well. So make sure that you are both watching and listening, and then you'll reflect on and talk about that a little bit. When you're ready, you will hit reply, and then of course hit reply to talk to one of your peers. Oh, and I love this, Maya. Thank you. You found a commercial. Oh, and it's a Super Bowl commercial. Double points, right, for bringing football into antidepressants. I'm very proud of you. So yes, whenever you are ready, you will do those couple of things, and that will be the thing that's worth points for this week. Are there any questions or thoughts or comments, anything at all about the discussion or the materials for this week before I keep going? Just to make sure. I have my football water bottle. I was very nervous during the game. Gronk got hurt. Every time I go see Brady play, Gronk gets hurt. I am always anticipating it. Speaking of superstitious thinking, right? He got hurt, but he was able to come back, thankfully. Let's see what somebody asked. Aren't we one of the only countries that allows those prescription drug commercials? Definitely interesting to think about. You know, I honestly am not sure. I don't know what the regulations are for other countries. But we are very pro medication in our culture, and it can be a little bit of a problem as people push certain drugs, and certain drugs definitely get more airtime and popularity than others. It's even a problem sometimes people can have with their psychiatrists. Psychiatrists are often promoting and using certain drugs. So yeah, I think it's something to be be careful with and be aware of, and maybe even be thinking about a little bit as well. It's kind of an interesting point. Okay. All right, let me go back here. A couple of other things for this week. Again, we're in kind of a usual, typical week. Same with next week. And then when we get to week 9, we have a few other things going on. But for now, just a usual format of read the chapter, watch the lecture video, do the discussion. A couple of reminders and announcements for you as we get kind of through our stream here. Oh, I'm going to have this written out. Don't forget to, as always, take a moment to check your subscription status. I think I'm able to show you now how to resubscribe. Yep, it's the 28th. So a couple of you asked me to show you this, and I was subscribed to my friends, so I wasn't able to show you. But if you head over to Twitch, and then you go to my channel, and again, I'm going to go to somebody else's channel because I can't show you on my own. I can't subscribe to myself, right? So if I go to my friend Sticker G here, I showed you this previously, but it was missing that link. So if you go to this spot where it says resubscribe and this purple bar and click the down arrow all the way at the bottom, look, see it says it right here, use Prime Sub. So again, it's only good for 30 days. So I was subscribed previously. I couldn't show you. But if you click this, then you can click subscribe for free with Prime for 1 month. And again, a lot of you fell off. So if you have the ability to do that, I would definitely appreciate you taking the moment to do that for me. And also, it really makes a big deal, as I said, in helping me to download your name so I don't have to look you each up individually. But don't forget to do that. Our next Twitch live stream, will be on Tuesday in October. Our next stream will be October. I'm officially all decorated. My yard is decorated. My house is decorated. I have enough candy for an army. I'm ready to go. Our next stream will be on October 5th. So Tuesday, 10/5 at 8:30 in the morning, like usual, unless of course something comes up, in which I will let you know. But 8:30 in the morning on 12/5. Wow, I can't type here. It's shameful how bad I am at typing and talking. At 8:30 in the morning. There we go. I'm trying to get this so I can put it in the chat. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. Our next Twitch live stream will be on Tuesday, 10/5 at 8:30 in the morning. And that will be week number 8. I want to talk a little bit next week about the second part of the paper. So I'm going to be going over that a little bit next week so that if you wanted to get started on it, you could. That second part is an outline and like a rough draft and your source that you'll be using. So it's definitely a little more involved, and I want you to start thinking about that. That's coming up. So we will talk a little bit about that together next week. Let me also give you the Twitch extra credit question for today so that you can get those points for joining me. Big topic that we have for this week, right? We're talking about depression and some of the treatments for depression. And the treatments for the medications, tend to fall into 4 different categories. And so that's what I'm going to have you think about for the extra credit. What are the 4 different categories of antidepressants that I talked about in the lecture in the book? I just want you to list them. So what are the 4 different categories of antidepressants, 4 different groups? List them for me. And when you're ready to do that, you will head over to Canvas. You'll click on Twitch extra credit number 7 right here. And then once you have your answer, you can hit start assignment up here at the top. And then in the box, you'll type your response. And when you're ready, hit submit. And again, I grade them throughout the week, so if it's incorrect, I will let you know, and you can try again. You can always add another attempt here if you need to. But those are the big things for this week, right? Read the chapter, watch the lecture video, do the discussion, extra credit if you would like to earn those points. I will post the recording of this live stream after we're done. I will let it start downloading, and it'll be up in a couple of hours for you so that you can watch it that way. If that's easier, it's always on Twitch, but sometimes it's easier, I think, to kind of have it linked right there. I think that is everything. Feels kind of fast. No, we're at 20 minutes, but still felt a little quick. But are there any questions or thoughts or comments? I'm going to put that here in the chat. Any questions, thoughts, comments, anything at all before we call it a day? Again, I appreciate all of you being on here every Tuesday morning with me, or watching this later even. Thank you for taking the time to do that. I think this is helpful for going over everything. I hope that you would agree. So definitely continue to join me if you can. I appreciate your company. But are there any other thoughts, comments, questions, anything at all? I could ramble on about football and the stadium. SoFi was an absolutely beautiful stadium. So stunning. But the food was awful. I had read that before I went, but absolutely awful. Pauline, if you go on, so someone asked, can you show me how to see your grades? So if you're on Canvas, if you scroll all the way up here, in this Help in Campus Resources, there's a thing right here that I made called Finding Your Grades and Feedback. If you click on that, there's a very short video where I showed you how to do that. Basically, you click on grades, and it's going to bring up all of your graded items. If there's any comments or feedback, you can see that with each graded item. But that's how you can go back and find everything. So you can click on your grades tab here on the left to get kind of your overall scores, or you can watch the little video that I made for you, which is brief, but it goes over how to find your feedback and grades, especially for the discussions, if I give you any feedback, and so on. Okay, so hopefully that helps, Pauline. Anything else? Otherwise, we're kind of officially done. If you want to hang out or have any other questions, I'm here and I'm happy to answer them for you. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Yep, you're welcome. No problem. I hope you all have a wonderful week and enjoy the nice weather today. It's going to get hot again after that. I'm going to Legoland this weekend. I'm very excited. Brick or treat. I've had 2 very exciting weekends in a row. It's definitely Halloween time, and so my little kids and I are going to go to Legoland and do some brick or treating Saturday night. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It won't feel crowded after being in a stadium with like 20,000 people. That was crazy. But thank you all again. My kids are 7, 7, and 9. So I have twin 7-year-olds and a 9-year-old, and they love Legoland, and I love it too. They've got good food at Legoland compared to some places. Good food there. That's important to me. You gotta have good snacks, right? If I'm gonna go there, you gotta have good snacks. But like I was saying, I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend. I will see you all in October. Hard to believe that next week is October, but yes, October it is. Thank you. I will have a good time. Thank you so much. And don't forget, as I showed you how to do now, check that subscription status, get going on the stuff for this week. And next week, I will talk about that second part of the assignment so that you can get started if you wanted to. So I'm going to minimize my video here, but I'll hang out for a little bit if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a wonderful week, and I will see you all in October.